Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Nvidia report for Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. Start with the big picture, work our way into the day itself. This is a weekly bar chart going back some 2.5 years or so. But the point I'm making here is 8 weeks ago, we closed above a 4-month descending channel top. It is now well below the market at 90.66, but it did set up a test of the low 150s, a retest, a recovery rally. We were expecting, 2 to 3, 3 to 5 months or so, and this is all playing out. Well, we're 2 months into it, as I say, 8 weeks. 150.34 remains our ceiling of resistance that can be sold through July and even perhaps into later year. From here, we can fall back. Well, I've got on the daily chart, I can show you what could be there's a lot going on there. Selling the low 150s, anticipating the low 130s. They're all kind of coming together. This wedge is tightening as we continue through July. So we'll just kind of see how that all plays out. But I think at this point in time, you can sell the low 150s, 150.34, and I'm talking to 3 to 5 week swing traders who could then hold out for this rising channel bottom that is now at 130.72. I think that is your 3 to 5 week swing trade. Of course, you've got 153.13. That is the January all-time high. If we close above even a weekly settlement on a Friday above 150.34 by a 1% margin should not be ignored for its buy signal potential. In fact, I don't even want to say potential. I'm holding out for 153.13. That's why I'm being so wishy-washy here. So if we close above 153.13, we do have a long-term buy signal up to 174.25. And by long-term, I'm talking 2 to 3 months. From above 150.34, we should see 174.25 within 2 to 3 months. This structure is, a 2-year channel top that could contain buying through the rest of the year. And I only anticipate it unless we close the week Friday above 150.34 by a full 1% margin. If you want to hold out for the 153.13 January all-time high, I have no problem with that whatsoever. This is the zone right here. Now let's work into kind of the day itself. I've got 142.02, a solid support level for the day. There is this inside channel that is longer term that we close pretty much right at on Friday. And so this is where you've got to weigh one against the other. I mean, yes, if we close clearly today below 144.34, that is a sell signal. But if you're being subjective and you're really looking at the chart, I would feel more comfortable shorting the market right now on weakness with a settlement below 142.02. And then I think what we could realistically anticipate would be a 3 to 5 day sell-off by later week, 136.27. So closing below 142.02 is a sell signal into later week. Within 3 to 5 days, I would expect 136.27. This channel bottom is a 3-week channel bottom, able to contain weekly selling pressures. From here, we could round up into the low 150s within 2 to 3 weeks. There's a lot going on in the 130s right now. And if you're more of a 3 to 5 week swing trader, and if you can and are willing to, or you have experience in scaling into a long position where you say maybe you buy half at 136.27 because we could break 136.27, you buy the other half at 130.72. Your average then in this scenario would be around 133 and change, and then you hold that long position for upward rotation into the low 150s within 3 to 5 weeks. I think that is your 3 to 5 week play, buying on weakness, selling on strength is selling 150.34. As I said earlier, you can sell that level, anticipating then bearish rotation back to this zone that I mentioned a moment ago in the 130.72 to 136.27 area.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and Nvidia, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
So 142.02 is preceded by this inside channel at 144.34. This image right here is a day trade unto itself. If we open below 144.34, it can be sold down to 142.02, where profits can be taken, and one can reverse at 142.02. I'm not crazy about settlements below 144.34 to hold a position overnight, but I don't want to dissuade you from doing so. I think you can buy 142.02 for more than a day. We can round up from here to 150.34 within 3 to 5 days. In fact, holding above 142.02, I do think by the end of the week, we should reach our objective at 150.34. And once again, if we close below 142.02 and you went long, my opinion is you should either A, get out entirely, or reverse and go short down to 136.27, the beginning of a narrowing zone of meaningful midterm support down to 130.72 that can contain selling through July, really, because from here we'll take 3 to 5 weeks perhaps to round back into the low 150s. Upside, I do have, and it's not labeled here, but the trend line across these highs is 146.94. And I've got 144.34. Both are meaningful intraday containment levels. If we open above 144.34, 146.94 in reach today. If we close today above 146.94, this trend line, 150.34 likely tomorrow. So these are kind of the micro trades. These are the 1 to 2 day, even intraday trades. If we open below 144.34, I've already mentioned 142.02 as likely, where we can place a daily low. And as I've also said, perhaps into later week where we could round up to 150.34 off of 142.02. Just the opposite if we close below 142.02, expecting 3 to 5 day sell-off to 136.27, the beginning of a narrowing zone of midterm support down to 130.72 that can absorb selling on a longer term basis, which is to say really through July. 130.72. I think these could be the consequences if over the next few weeks we close below this significant rising channel bottom. We will continue to watch the charts closely. Every time you put out a new high, there's a new rising 1/3 speed line. It's a little lower than this. So we really have to sort of dissect the whole thing and really determine a strategy that we think will work well. But at this point in time, if for whatever reason we were to close below this 130.72 channel bottom, I do think it carries with it significant bearish rotation, possibly all the way back into the 80s, this long-term channel bottom. But I don't want to get carried away. There will be downside 5/8 Fibonacci's, et cetera, that we'll be watching. Once again, those change with every new high. So I don't really want to commit to a downside strategy that is longer term, other than to mention that we love the 130.72 to 136.27 narrowing zone of support on a 3 to 5 week basis. And if it's 3 to 5 weeks, it's also 3 to 5 days. It's also 3 to 5 hours. In other words, well suited for day traders, swing traders, and near-term position traders. Last week, we put out a couple stock picks. AMD was one of them. We've done a lot in the last few weeks. We do 2 every week. You can check them out at wickedstocks.com. We offer a 5-day free trial up front. You'll also see our daily triple Q and our daily SPY analysis. If you day trade Nvidia, I think you really need to also at least watch the triple Q, of which Nvidia is this large component, and similar signals, similar setups. You can confirm one off the other. So I think it's a great tool to have in your Nvidia trading. That is to say, the triple Q and the SPY. So check us out at wickedstocks.com. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's Nvidia report, and you have a great day.